Hello everybody, welcome back to American Truck Simulator. Today we're going to be hopping here taking a load down to Denver, Colorado. We are currently situated in Elko, Nevada. So let's go ahead and hit the road here. It's been quite a while since we have been in this game. We'll fire the truck up here. And we are on our way here. It has been a while since we've been in this game. Trailer there. It'll be quite interesting trying to get out of here, but I think we can make it. I think we can get out of here. We just gotta make sure we watch it so we can go white here. Waiting for traffic to clear up here. We're good. We just have to wait for traffic to clear up. That's what we're pretty much waiting on for right now. Probably not gonna happen because that's American Truck Simulator. But then it's easy for us to do. On the sidewalk, but there's nothing you can do. Traffic is like non-stop. It makes no sense. Especially a road that's like this, I highly doubt it'd be this bad in real life. So, it has been, as I said, quite some time since we have been in this game, and I think I have sort of covered this before when it comes to, American Truck Simulator. I need driving sim, to be honest. And that is, well, no, that I forgot to turn down the game audio, so let me do that real quickly. I'll be right back. Alrighty, things might be a little bit better now. I do apologize about that. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been in this game, so I forgot about all the audio and stuff like that. It happens sometimes, but looks like we're about to get on. I believe this is 80, for what I saw. So, as I was saying there, when you play this game for a while, you sort of get to the point where, especially if you do this in real life, that it becomes something that, why would I want to play a video game when, I'm doing it in real life? Of course, I'm not doing it now, but, it's just, I was doing it so much that it's like, like we had to pull into the way station here. But as I was saying, I do this, you know, or was doing this in real life, and you just, it's like anything else. You just want to break from it after a while. When you're home and on the weekends and stuff, you're exhausted. You're just ready to just go to bed pretty much and just, do anything besides drive for at least a couple of days. And so that's kind of what happened with this game, or any driving games when it comes to that. It just, as I said, when you do it in real life, you don't exactly want to do it in a video game because, some things, I like this. I just get on the freaking interstate. I don't even care anymore. But some of the stuff will just that's in this game would just drive you absolutely nuts. Because, well, for that, you guys saw in the mirror that, there was a truck behind us when we were merging onto the interstate. Now, mind you, they do have the right of way. We are supposed to yield to them, but, it's common courtesy to let somebody on the interstate when you have room. And almost everybody does that. It's just common courtesy. It's almost a habit for people. It just what people are taught to do. And so you don't just, not get over for someone for that, So when it comes to this game, I just get on the interstate. I'm not really worried about, whoever's behind me because it's just ridiculous. That guy had plenty of room and there's nobody beside him at the time, and he just wouldn't get over. And the game's not scripted to do that. The AI are not scripted to do that. And it makes no sense. One of the things that this game really needs to work on is the AI. It just sensible, common courtesy and stuff like that, make us seem more realistic because, for example, with us doing right now, it's around 60 miles per hour in the interstate. No. You would see people just absolutely just flying by you, This doesn't happen very often. Also, another thing that I have noticed that really just frustrates me when it comes to this game is construction sites. The AI have no idea how to handle any of that stuff when it comes to real life. It's just terrible. For example, right now, this guy's a fucking idiot. For example, that AI behind me, most states, if not all by this point, have their own versions of slow down and move over laws. If there's flashing lights, you're supposed to move over. And, most people will, some people just don't pay attention on the phone and stuff like that, but most people will see that and they'll let you over because, it's everybody's safety when it comes to that. So they would just be sitting there right beside you all day. They would let you over if they see it. Sometimes it's hard to see stuff, but, that just is the worst. But as we were sort of saying about construction sites, I have no clue how to handle them at all. They just slam on the brakes. They just, doing a bunch of stupid crap. Say if there's like a construction site, maybe we'll run into one, I don't know. Um, and there's going down to one lane. Most people, when you see that sign, and honestly though, this game doesn't have a very good representation of that because, you know, in most states, every state has their own law with the defer. You know, like for example, my state, which nobody actually does this, but they want you to, take turns when, lane is coming down, wait until, you know, the very last second the lane ends and, then get over. But most of the time, they will show like signs to, move over well in advance. Like, at least 2-3 miles at least. But in this game that doesn't exist. It's like maybe 300 feet, something like that, which is definitely not something that I think there's a Pacific law. It's like a pull in the way station again. Well, I guess it's port of entry, but that was getting annoying too. I noticed that there is a lot more that we have to pull over, even though we have a bypass. It's a whole point of that, really. To have a pre-pass thing is to be able to pass the way station if, you got decent enough, CSA points and stuff like that. Most of the time, you'd just fly by the stations. You probably won't be able to stop at a station for, a couple weeks. It just really depends. And they're really close to each other, too. Which doesn't make any sense to me either. It seems like we're just one after another, which, some states are pretty damn big. You will maybe like once a day you would run into a way station. That's if, you're taking this, so you're a pretty large state, but and this game doesn't really have a representation of, closed way stations because I don't know if it was COVID or it may have been the way it always has. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I was only on the road for 2 years, so. And most of the way stations, I would say maybe between 50% of them were closed. It may, been COVID, trying to reduce, interactions as much as possible, but I don't know. Especially when it's this late at night, most way stations are closed, You might run into a few that are open, but this is not too common. And so, this game doesn't really have a good representation of that. And like I said, with the pre-pass, you would have the ability to bypass a lot of way stations. You may get pulled in, I would say, I don't really know because I've never worked for a company that had pre-pass or anything like that. But while USA Truck had sort of a thing, I don't remember what it was called, but it was kind of a pre-pass, but I tried it once, didn't really like it, it just, I don't know, it just seemed a little weird to me, and most way stations that I went by anyways didn't even support the app that was being used, so I just stopped using it. But for what I've heard, I could be wrong. I've never used pre-pass, so, you know, more of the experienced guys would have knowledge of this more than I would. But I would say pre-pass, you may get stopped maybe once every couple weeks or something like that. Like I said, I believe it depends on your CSA score, um, which there's a whole line of, you know, craziness when it comes to that. Just pages full of, information about that. It's not, you know, pretty, kind of self-explanatory. It kind of like, CSA points is kind of, I give you the short version of it. There's many violations that you can get, but it is related to DOT violations themselves. And, CSA, say if you're onto a scale and you got an inspection and, you had a turn signal out or something like that. That would count as a CSA points. Even if you got a warning from a DOT officer, it would still count for your CSA points. And if you have a lot of CSA points, I believe there's two things that will come with that. One, you're probably going to get stopped more often when going through scales. And two, companies won't hire you if your CSA points are, very high. So, and there's like tons of violations you can get. You guys could probably, search this up here. It's pretty, long list of details about CSA points and how much you can get. I believe, for what I have heard, tires and believe brakes are the highest CSA points that you can get. Actually, don't. This is so weird. This doesn't make any sense. And I have, vented when it comes to the GPS in the past. It is, in this game specifically, it is not the greatest. I wish it is okay, but it'd be nice if we had, information, because the real GPS will give you, what interstates you're supposed to take, what roads, what turns you're supposed to take, and all this stuff. And this doesn't do that at all. So that would be really nice. Say if, it would pop up like a little thing that says take exit 304. And, that's kind of what you were supposed to do. So, it just, I don't know. It'd just be a lot more helpful when it comes to that, because the GPS is so close that, this happens too. That's a little bit confusing, but I saw the sign back there. I wasn't sure if, I don't know. There were two lanes that were hitting there, so. Like we're about to go up to a little bit of a steep incline here. I'm gonna take it kind of easy because there are a lot of curves through here and stuff like that. Kind of what I would do in real life. Just take it easy. There's no need to be in a hurry, but. Also, And this is just my opinion. You can, in the game, you can decide your own route and stuff like that. This is kind of something that I would sort of, pre-plan myself after each load in real life. Kind of what routes to take and stuff like that. Make sure, I'm going to the right place and it's suitable for my liking, and it's safe. And this game has a lot of, just driving in roads that you probably shouldn't be on in a big truck. As you're taking down, some really tight curves on these backcountry roads and stuff like that, And I want to find that to be very realistic. Can it happen? Could that be the only route? Yes, but most of the time, I would say at least 80 to 90% of the time, you're on the interstate. Interstate is a truck driver's best friend. You're probably never going to get into any, well, I wouldn't say get in trouble, but not as you would, on a backcountry road like that, or two-lane country road, and I've done that. I've had to, I've had to drive. I believe it was. So we got the bypass. Yee. But anyways, so I believe this was Winterville, Ohio. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But I used to have to go to Walmart Distribution Center for Georgia Pacific. This was when working for USA Truck. And so this freaking warehouse would be in the middle of freaking nowhere. It was crazy. So you had to drive on backcountry roads. It wasn't really backcountry roads. It was decent enough road. It was two-lane road though, but it was decent enough for a semi truck. Nothing that anybody couldn't handle. And that was just very short percentage of when I had to drive on country roads, but I also, when I was working for CRST, working for the, I believe it was the Ruler Division. No, yeah, I think it was Ruler. Anyways, so that is in Seymour, Indiana. And when it coming from Indiana to Seymour, which I had to do all the time, I could just go through town. Town was okay. I had to. The roads are a little small, but you can manage it. It's not something that's a really big deal. But we're coming from the Kentucky side to Seymour. I believe this is 65, I believe. And so I would get off. I don't remember what this road was. I already took it a couple times. I want to say it's like US 11. That's probably not right. It's been a while since I've been on that road. But anyways, it was, a tight country road. And thankfully this wasn't a very high traveled road, and this would lead me back into this warehouse that we went to, Seymour, Indiana. I believe I may have a couple videos on it. I'm not 100% sure, but it was pretty interesting trying to get through there. So kind of what I had to do, it was, small country road, so I had to, you know, there was always this one really sharp turn that I had to make. And it's just something that you had to be really careful, and hopefully no traffic shows up. It was a four-way stop sign, but I had to make a right headed towards the warehouse. Right, helicopter up above that just popped in. I don't know what that is about. Everybody hitting the freaking brakes. See, a cop would not be blocking a road up like this for just no reason. This would not happen in real life. I don't even know what this is. Fucking asshole. Come on, I'm trying to let you in. Jeez. Yeah, this would have happened. I don't know what this shit is, but they would never ever do that. I don't know what the hell that is. But anyway, so we were talking about, how I had to do this turn. And so most of the time you're not really supposed to, because you leave people a gap and people get confused. But like I said, this is a country road. You had to, or you're going to take out the damn stop sign. You have to get in the far left side of the road as much as you can, and then you could do that right turn successfully with no problems. But it just not something that you do very often. Most of the time it's just interstate driving. Mileage here. Looks like we have 397 miles to go, so alright guys, sorry I grabbed a quick screenshot there, didn't miss very much. So, man, let me tell you, I have missed being on the road. I just am not sure if I can do it anymore, honestly. I got it in more debt than I would have gotten than if I would have just, stayed home. Just medical bills, I'm still fighting those. Trying to get the insurance to pay for them. It became a lot more complicated than, I ever wanted. And with medical problems that I had, it just was not a good start. And also, trying to find a local trucking company that, is relatively close by is put another thing. It is very hard to find a trucking company that's close to me. And the car that I have, it is about as old as me. It is, I believe it's a 98 Ford Escort, which born in 98, so 24-year-old car. And I do my best to try to take care of it, but it doesn't have very much left to go off of. You know, it's kind of something that not really a good idea for big trips. And so I've been trying to either a couple ideas, which plan A is just try to find a local company that's within, you know, I would say an hour away, which is not going very well. It's not working very well. I tried a local trucking company, which was Brazil Trucking here. I tried to, you know, get with them and never received a phone call back. Well, I did, you know, I put in an application and got a little bit of an interview, and they're waiting for, you know, my employment history to come back. And I was waiting for about a week and a half, probably close to 2 weeks, and didn't hear anything back. I tried to call them. I gave them official paperwork of my employment history with you know, trucking and all that. You know, from a official, you know, just like employment verification company. And it's, you know, nothing that I could forge. You know, it's nothing that, you know, it would be very difficult for me to forge. So, you know, it's kind of a company that everybody uses pretty much. You know, it's the biggest company out of all for employment verification and just nothing. So I went to work for local high school doing consulting work, which is something that I've actually missed. You know, I've met some pretty great people over there, very great friends, and one of the easiest jobs that I think I've ever done. I let this guy over, but he just doesn't want to come over. I don't know what his deal is. You have plenty of room. But anyways, so as I was saying, I love what I do. You know, it just, when you meet great people that you work with, you know, meet some great friends, you know, it just makes the job that much easier. And, you know, it's something that, you know, I just want to do for a while. Until, you know, all the medical stuff, you know, doesn't become really a problem anymore. You know, ever since my surgery, I know I have gone off a lot about this, but, you know, it's something that has really taken a lot of control over my life. You know, it's something that has changed my life quite a bit. And it's something that, you know, I'm still learning to adapt to. And I'm not sure. Hopefully one of these days things would be good enough for us to, you know, get back on the road again. You know, maybe I can find no local company here. Maybe I'll have good luck again. I don't know, but things have been going very well here lately, so just rather wait to see on that. But alrighty, guys. So then we're gonna go ahead and pull into this gas station here. We're getting pretty close to this video here when it comes to length. Somebody's honking the horn. I don't know what that is about. Maybe it's a train over there. That is the worst horn I've ever heard in my life. I hate these mirrors. I cannot work with these mirrors. I'm sorry. It is not realistic at all with these mirrors. Back in a spot back here. Engine brake. That's all that's not realistic either. Engine brakes do not work at slow speeds. They just don't. You know, it may be 20 miles per hour when that engine brake engaged. Because it doesn't have anything to work on, really. I'm not really used to having a mic in my way here, so backing's kind of weird, but that'll do. Alright, guys, so as I said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up here. This was a pretty eventful journey. I think we have a little bit to go here. Let's go ahead and I don't know, it's not telling me, unfortunately. I don't know what's going on with that, but as I said, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up here, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.